and so grateful to be back with friends. We were here not too long ago when you all were helping to launch our campaign several months ago right here. And I'm very excited to be here with so many different generations of our community, leaders from all around Massachusetts, and an example of what we're able to do when we really invest and create the spaces for everyone to come together in community. So I think for what I wanted to do was to spend a lot of time, as much time as we can, in conversation and to have some question and answer. So I'll keep my part as short as I can in the beginning, and then we'll pass the microphone around. What I wanted to make sure that I said to everyone here today is that I am someone who grew up never, ever, ever thinking that I might be in politics one day. But thanks to the upbringing from my family, the culture that we were raised in, and the dreams of so many of your generation and the sacrifices that I know have been made on behalf of the next generation, I am standing here as a testament of gratitude and thanks to all that you have done. I'm running for mayor to make sure that Boston has leadership to open doors for our next generation, because we are one of the most exciting and well-resourced cities anywhere in the world. We are a city that people look to, whether it is about education or healthcare or innovation or community. And we are a city that represents so many of the dreams of this country and immigrants from every other country. I found my way to Boston for school. I wasn't born in this area. I'm the oldest child to parents who immigrated from Taiwan, and I grew up in the Chicago area. Told by my parents to really stay focused. They said to all of us kids over and over again, 长大的时候找个稳定的工作，赚钱，别找麻烦. Right. So when you grow up, get a job that is stable, pays well, and won't get you into trouble. Right. Politics is 0 for 3 in that count. But my life changed a lot in my early 20s. I was just finishing up my undergraduate degree at Harvard when I got a call from home from one of my younger sisters. Things were not very well, and they needed help. I realized that my mom was in the midst of a mental health crisis. And from that moment on, it got worse and worse for a while. She was not sleeping very much, not eating very much, starting to hear things that other people were not hearing, and running out to try to help when she would hear those things. And night after night, with my 2 young sisters at home, we were really struggling. I was 22 in that moment, and so many people know the experience of when life changes all of a sudden, without any plan or prediction. And many people also know what it feels like when you step into that moment of changing roles with your parent, when you become mom to your mom, or when you become the caregiver to the people who have given so much to take care of you. You don't realize how much they prepared you for that moment, how much every time they were teaching you lessons and taking care of you and supporting you, comforting you, pushing you. They were preparing you for that moment to be your own self. And so for me and my family, that came a little earlier than expected. Just in my early 20s, I began to take care of my mom. I began to raise my sisters, who were 10 and 16. And we found our way back to Boston, where I went back for law school and brought my family with me. And so it is this city, I use this city very broadly, Boston and this area, that truly has given my family everything we cherish in our lives. My mom has been able to benefit from the healthcare, best in the world here in Massachusetts. My sisters have been able to graduate from great schools here as I've raised them. And today, I get to live in a 2-family home. I live upstairs with my husband and 2 little boys who are 6 and 3. Every morning, I can send them downstairs to have breakfast with Wepo, right? Because my mom is doing so much better now, thanks to the community that we've been able to be part of. I know what's possible in Boston. I know how much it makes a difference when we create those systems to help and reach people when they need help in those moments. But I also carry with me what it feels like, how hard you have to fight to get access to those resources. I remember every day what it feels like to be waiting up all night in the emergency room with my mom, just hoping, praying, begging for a mental health bed to open up. Or to have to take time off of work and almost feel like it's another whole full-time job to try to navigate the school system on behalf of my sisters and everything that we needed to address, even outside the classroom. We opened a small family business and jumped through hoop after hoop with government often meaning well, but not connecting to residents in the right language, in the right way, and with the right supports. So I know the barriers that our families face, but I've now had 10 years knowing how to make a difference in changing that. I'm the longest serving elected official in this mayor's race, an incredible field of candidates, very qualified and talented and representing the diversity of Boston. And I'm proud to be leading the pack, that our polls have been strong, our fundraising has been strong thanks to so many supporters all across the state and beyond, and that the energy on the ground is ready for a Boston that truly believes in what is possible, in supporting families when they need help, and in opening the doors for young people who never could have dreamed for themselves that they could be connected to the opportunities in our city. That's what I want to make sure every child in Boston gets. And so we've proposed some of the most bold and far-reaching plans. And what I want to say today is that this is the moment to really believe in what's possible. We're coming out of 16 months of such stress, such trauma and isolation. But if there's two lessons that we can take from the pandemic, first is how interconnected we all are to each other, how much we rely on the health and well-being and safety of every person in our community. And the second is to realize that when we want to do big things, Boston has unlimited capacity to get that done. We, in just a few months during the pandemic, found a way to deliver laptops to every single child in the Boston Public Schools, to come together and find the resources and deliver meals to any family that was going hungry. That's the same spirit that we need coming out of the pandemic. And in fact, it's the very same spirit that founded the city of Boston to begin with. This is a city with so much history, known all across the world for being the place that always stands up for what's right, that always invests in the ways that we are connected. We have a lot of history in Boston of being the oldest public school anywhere in the country in Boston, the oldest public library, the oldest public park. But each of these instances were times when we were the first, because we decided to step out first and say we are going to do it differently and open the doors wide for everyone to have an education, to connect with open space and the beauty of our natural environment, to tap into our shared cultural and intellectual history with libraries. We need that on so many fronts today, and I know that in Boston, we can set the example for cities all around the country. So I'm so grateful for you all. It's 80 days to go as of today until the preliminary election on September 14th. We are running everywhere across Boston, and I'm here today just to say thank you. You all have been faithful volunteers, you have been generous supporters, you have been the emotional support that I have needed, and I feel so happy to be back with so many of my, what I think of as a big extended family, and to be absorbing all of the hopes and dreams that we can make sure come to real life together. Thank you so much.